Hi, I'm Tara. Today we're looking at the wonderful Canva text effects. Let's learn how to make your text really stand out. Make sure you watch to the end and I'll show you how to do all these neat tricks with text. So this is the Canva interface. I'm going to select Facebook post landscape, but you can select whichever size suits your project best. Once you have your project open, we're going to click on text. And we're going to click add a text box. There are other ways of adding text, but I just want to show you the effects and how to access them first. So I'm going to click add a text box. Let's move that to the top. And I'm just going to change the font of that to a more scripty. So we just click on this area here, and I'm just going to make it advert time. And then I'm just going to duplicate it. And I'm going to make that a sans serif, just so I can show you the difference between the effects. So to access the effects, we go to the top bar here and click on effects. So, and then you're given this whole list of different variations on different effects that you can use on your text. So some of them work really well and some of them not so well, and lots of them don't really work when your font is a script font. So I'll just show you the difference between the two. If we put neon on the sans serif and neon on the script font is actually quite hard to read, I think. So you just need to be very careful of what emphasis you're putting on your script font. Like so, shadow will work. You can change the offset on the shadow to less or more, the direction in which it's going, whether it's below, left or right, and then you can change it to kind of a much more kind of Gaussian blur effect. And then also the transparency, you can have just like a kind of light drop shadow or much more intense. You can also change the color of the drop shadow, which is kind of neat as well. I'll just show you the difference then in the sans serif. As I say, you can change the transparency to much stronger pink, or the blur, and the direction again. So there are lots of other ones available, such as echo. So the echo is kind of like a shutter to the back. You can change the color of the background. I'll just make it kind of bright so you can see. But once you pick a style, you can't have more than one. So you can't have a shadow and then also a neon. So you just need to be careful of that. Less is always more. So, but as I say, you need to be careful more so with your script fonts, because as I say, they can become a little unreadable, and then you lose the effect completely. The other two effects that are available is background. So background is it becomes a box. You can have no roundness, so square corners, or a lozenge. You can have how far away from the text it becomes, and then also transparency. So if you just want it to be like a kind of mild highlight, or full, but also you can change the color of the background to whatever you wish. And then the last effect in this area is the shape. So we can either have none, which is straight line, basically what we have at the moment, or you have curve. So curve text works really well. You can decide on the amount of curve. So you can have just a kind of gentle arc or a really full circle. But then if you bring it the other way, it will curve upwards, which is really super, I think. So you could also have a full curve, but you can then tilt it slightly. So when you click on the center, it will show you the degree that it is tilting it to. So you could have like on sale today, and then when you click off, you know, and you can have like a special offer in here, or some kind of starburst or something. So there's lots of options available in the effects area, but the only thing I would definitely say is just be mindful of the actual font that you're using, because the script fonts don't work so well. I'm just going to run through the top left hand side of this bar here. So currently we have Anton selected as our font. You can there's absolutely hundreds of fonts available within Canva. It sometimes can be a bit overwhelming. So if you decide, okay, well, I'm looking for a script font, well, then you can click on handwriting, and it will give you a whole, depending on what kind of project you're using. It can be more formal script or more fun script. Corporate is much the same. It's all sans serif, more kind of serious looking fonts. And then display is for if you were doing posters or you want to catch somebody's eye. The next choice along is the size. So font size, you can either select it in the middle, you can go up or down, or you can just size it by eye with the outer nodes of your text box. The next one is color. So you can have brand colors, or you can select default colors, or you can add a new color. So if you have a specific hex number that you use all the time, well, then you can put it in there, or you can just select by the picker. The next group it can be a little unusual because you can see that the B is kind of grayed out. The next one along is italics, underline, strike through, or all caps. So the B is grayed out because this text is already quite bold. So if it's bold or italics kind of already, then that's not available to you. So I'll just show you we'll just change the font to this one. And then the bold is then available. So it depends on the font that you're using and whether that is available to you or not. The next three along are alignment, listing, and line spacing. So currently it's all to the left. So if you select it and you go center and then to the right. So you just keep clicking as to which one you would prefer. The list is, you can either have bullets, or you can have numbers, or you can have none. The next one is spacing. So this is spacing in between letters and also between lines. So the first one, if we just select it, I can show you, you can make them more spaced or less spaced. Sometimes fonts kind of crowd onto each other and you need to space them out a little. So the next one is line spacing. So I'm just going to put in a return here so I can show you what I'm talking about. So the line spacing, you can either make it bigger or smaller. In typography terms, this is known as leading, and line spacing is known as kerning. So the other effects that are available are animate, and these are all, it just depends on what you're looking for in your design, whether you're looking for something to drift or whether you want them to ascend. There's a huge range available, and it's basically just whatever you're looking for in your own project. I would say less is more. Don't have stuff coming in from like left, right, up and down, because then it just becomes a bit much. And then we also have transparency. So transparency, or it's sometimes known as opacity, but in Canva it's known as transparency. This is how much you can see through it, basically. So when it's 100%, it's a solid, and when it's like less, then it's much lighter. So currently you can't have gradient text in Canva currently, but there is a workaround. So I'll show you how to do that now. So I'm just going to show you a few examples of how we can be creative with text. The first one I'm going to show you is joined letters. So This is the join that we're going to create, so let's get to it. So to create this, we need two different text boxes. So we're just going to put that there, and we're just going to duplicate it, and we're just going to make them a little bigger, and we're just going to change the font. So I need two letters. We're just going to use D and G, and I'm just going to make them bigger, and I'm going to select two different font types. So we're going to select Holiday for the D, and we're going to select Brittany for the G. I'm just going to do that. And then we're just going to do one more thing. We're going to change the color. So we'll make the G purple, and we'll make the D pink, just so we can have a good bit of contrast. So we're just going to have them kind of centered in the middle of the page. And then what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate the page. So when you duplicate the page, I need you to delete the D, and then we're going to go up to Share, and we're going to download transparent background, but we only want the second page. So and click Done, and click Download. And we're just going to call it G purple. And then we're going to go back up to the first page, and we're going to upload, and we're going to click on upload, and you just go and get the file that you've just saved. You just wait for it to import, and then we're just going to click that on the page. Now, so all you have to do then is make it the same size as the one underneath it, and literally just slide it down, and then the other one, send it to the back. This one, bring to the front, and then you have your two linked together. So the next one I'm going to show you is layered text and how to make it pop as a graphic. So the word we're going to use is tip top, but you can use any word you like. So we're just going to write T. I'm just going to get it kind of the size that I want it to be, and the font. So I'm going to use Gulf's Display, and I'm just going to increase the size, and I'm going to duplicate that and do a P, and then I'm going to select both of them, and then I'm going to duplicate that to bring it down here. So then we're going to do an O and an I. So we're going to do an O, put that in there, and we're going to duplicate that again, and we're going to make it an I. So now we have our two words. We're just going to kind of move them together, and each center letter we're going to make pink, the same as the background. So you just want them to be able to kind of slightly cut off the side of the other two letters, maybe not so much this one. So then we're going to duplicate it, and we're going to change it to black. And then we're just going to slightly reduce it in size. The same with the O. going to reduce it slightly in size. And then we have our tip top. The next one we're going to look at is a kind of like a split text. So we're going to add so we're going to start on a black background and we're going to add a word. So this can either be, this can be anything you like, obviously. We're going to write sharp. I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. And we're going to change the font to something a little chunkier. So I'll call it chunk 5. So it's just a little too big. So you can either increase or decrease the font by using the top font size, or you can just pull the little nodes up and down. So once we have it in position, we're going to make a download of it. So we click share, and we don't need a transparent background this time. We're just going to click download, and we're just going to call it sharp and save. And then we are going to go and add a frame to it. So we click on elements and click on frames, and we're looking for a triangle. So if you just key in triangle, it should come up, and we are looking for this one here. So we're just going to add that to our page, and we're just going to make it the full width. Okay, and then we're going to go to our uploads. We're going to upload our sharp file, which is this one. And we're going to click on that, and we're going to place it into that frame, triangle frame. So it should still look all like the same, like you can't see that there's another one there. So then we're just going to move one of them. You can either move the font, typed font itself, or you can move your frame. So we're just going to move the frame just so it looks like it's, you can either move it up or down. So we'll just move it down. So then we're just going to make it a little more three-dimensional. We're going to go back into elements, and we're going to search for shadow. And so lots of these are pro, so that means they're part of the pro version, which means that you actually have to pay for them. But there are some that are free, so that one there is free. We're going to use one of the pro versions just today. So we're just going to tilt it. We're going to try and get it in the same line as our triangle, at the bottom of our triangle. And then when we line it up, so we're just not quite there. Takes a little bit of manipulation. And then we're going to duplicate that. And that kind of makes it a little more darker each time. If you try and get it on the same line each time, it works pretty well. And that's it. So I'll just show you what you can do with some graphics. So here we have a red background, hot sauce, this could be a label, or for a menu or something. But if we add a graphic to it, so click on elements and we hit graphics and we search fire, all these graphics come up. Some of them are free, some of them are not free. Usually the ones, usually the good ones are the pro version, but usually they're kind of images as well. So sometimes it's worth paying the extra bit for. So just going to show you what we can do here. So immediately, excuse me, it looks even, even better. But if we just position this and we're just going to send it to the back, so then it has a kind of spray off it. And if we duplicate it, and then we have one in the front then as well, it instantly makes this like so much more alive. I think it's really effective to add just an element or a graphic to a piece of work. So the last one I'm going to show you is how to put a gradient within a group of letters. So to create gradient text in Canva, there is a bit of a workaround, but it can be done. So the first thing we're going to do is going to create a shape. So we're going to make a gradient out of this shape. So when you click on the color and you click on add a new color in documents, you have either solid color or gradient available. So we're going to make this a gradient. So you can click on them to decide which color that you want, and you can add as many colors as you want. And you can also decide where the position of the gradient is. So this one looks pretty good to me. So we're going to then add a text box, and we're just going to put GRADT, and we're going to change the font just to make it something a little more standouty. I'm just going to make it as big as we can, just so you can get the effect. And then we're going to change the color of the text to white. And we're going to change the opacity to about 35. So once you have that, once you're happy with your gradient, we go up and we click on share. And then we click on download. We make sure that the file type is PNG. Make sure that we are selecting the correct page. And then we click download, and it'll download it then to your computer. And we're just going to say, you're just going to name it. And once you've saved it, we can then go to upload and upload your file. And once it's uploaded, it will be in this area here. So then we go back here and we delete all the hard work that we've done. And we add this then to your page. So it is now a single image, so to speak. And then when we click on edit photo and click on background remover, we have this magical gradient, which it's really effective. I think it is, and it does really work. The only thing is that you can't go in and edit that, so you need to be sure that your text is correct, or all your spelling is correct, because otherwise you have to go in and do the whole thing again. So you can also have a more structured layout. So we just click on a new page here. So we can, there are default text styles. So add a heading, add a subheading, and add a little bit of body. So these are currently all just Canva Sans, but you can go in and add brand fonts to your brand kit. So every time you use a heading, so click on edit, every time you use a heading, you can make that heading a specific font. So if you wanted every time you use a heading for it to be advert time, and we want the actual font size to be 64, and we click on yes, and then if we wanted the subheading, say, to be something a little less scripty, if we make it bright, and we click yes, and then the body, if we want it to be, say, Anonymous Pro, we're just going to make it 14, and click on yes. And then you just X out it there, and then every time you add a heading, it will, subheading and a bit of body, it will be those 3 font types that you have selected. I've lots of other tutorials available. If you're looking for some great templates or keywords, check out my Patreon link below. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe.